Yo, welcome back to Neon Trash's October Daze, motherfucker. You got Tommy the Hammer hanging out with Hayes, Bee Cee, Olivia, Johnny Rocket. Tonight is Bee Cee's pick. Lay it on us, homie. What did you bring tonight?
So tonight, I didn't bring a movie that would be classified as a straight up horror, but I brought something that I thought fit I guess the dreariness of October.
What?
We're not dreary. We're talking about.
I brought. Thank you, Matt. I brought what is considered basically the best South Korean film of all time.
Oh.
It's the film that put Bong Joon-ho on the map. He did Parasite, The Host, Snowpiercer, and it's the movie that put Song Kang-ho, the actor from Parasite, Snowpiercer, and a bunch of other South Korean movies on the map. It's called Memories of Murder. And it is mostly following it's based on a true story that dealt with the serial killer in South Korea that at the time they didn't know who it was, and that's why this was made. And since then, actually in the past couple years, they have found out who it was. But yeah, this was a movie that hit really hard for the South Korean people, and it put a lot of important actors and people on the map. So
Nice.
yeah.
Enticing.
Yeah, sounds intriguing. I know Bee Cee always brings the heat to the old channel. You guys know this part. Check out the trailer.
Heave that shit! Heave it, motherfuckers!
What these guys said. We'll be right back.
사건 날 전부 비가 왔어요. 죽은 여자가 빨간 옷을 입고 있었어요.
근데 서울에서도 이렇게 자주 보나?
전혀.
목격자가 있나? 그렇다고 증거가 있나?
범인이 워낙 빈틈이 없고요.
자신 있나?
We have just got done watching the movie Memories of Murder, and I gotta say, I feel like this is the director's best film. I've seen a number of this guy's work, and from the get-go, I was captivated. This movie is intoxicating, from the cinematography, to the acting, to the music, to the period piece aspect of the overall film. I liked everything on display here. I was captivated. I was drawn in. I liked the story. I liked the characters, and I liked everything that was going on with it. It's a long film, so if you're not into a crime horror movie that takes its time, it might bore you. But at the same time, if you're really into that, if you like spending time with the police officers, if you like looking at all the nuances by the serial killer and the forensic element to the overall movie, then you will definitely be drawn in.
I was excited about this movie, and I was gonna eventually pick it for one of my picks, but I'm not in a shady way, but I'm glad that Ben picked it for the month of October, because it kind of reminded me of like how the last week of October has felt, like chilly, dreary, rainy, like
Creepy.
feeling.
Yeah.
So I think this really fits perfectly for the month of October. But this kind of made me think about how America does movies about like serial killers. This is like done so much better. Like America, when it comes to movies about serial killers, like they do so many of them and they're not done very well. And you're just kind of like, okay. It's like, it's more so to watch it to learn about the case and less about more so the movie. So I think this was done a lot better than American films.
Definitely something that is not in my wheelhouse. I was never a real like suspense, murder, mystery type a movie watcher, honestly. But this was absolutely perfect for October Daze. This is really kind of helping us run the gamut of all kinds of different styles of film from all over the world, and this is filling a perfect niche for it, honestly. Like I was, engrossed in it. It was a captivating enough story, and like the acting and directing, like it looks great. Like it's easy to get engrossed by this. And well, I felt that it definitely went 2 hours. I didn't mind. I did not mind. It was still such it was engrossing to watch them just infuriatingly try to look for this guy. And they have all these clues and they think they have his MO and they still can't get this guy. It's like, I mean, it really it makes you feel a whole gamut of emotions. So it's a really well executed film, and I can certainly appreciate this for what it is, even though it might not be my thing.
Didn't know much about this movie at all. I actually never heard of it. And I actually like this a lot. Good pick, Bee Cee. Or Olivia. No, I'm sorry. Anyway.
Didn't mean to shade you.
I'm just kidding. Anyway, but no, it was good. I mean, it delves into the psyche of that, detectives and cops, and also at the same time how they push the limits on like trying to get somebody.
Yeah.
Try and get the right guy or a scapegoat.
Give you a little seedy underbelly.
Yeah, the dark side of everything,
yeah.
But then just like the cinematography, the outfits they wore to make it look like the time. I mean, it was
constant smoking.
Yeah, there's definitely constant smoking. I mean, nobody wasn't not smoking.
Definitely.
Except for they were talking.
Film 80s.
Yeah, definitely 80s. I mean, it was all good, and like they already said, like you would see watching this, you'd think it actually was a newer film, and actually was from 03, right?
Yeah, I was surprised to learn it was already almost 20 years old.
Yeah, just wow. It was, just shocking, and very, impressed and liked it a lot.
Deep dives.
So I am a big fan of Bong Joon-ho. I actually only have one movie left to see from him. But I think the craziest thing about this movie is that this was only his second film, and I think that most directors they'd be lucky if they could ever make a film this good. And so for this to
so
be...
he came out of the gate just hitting it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dang.
Wow, that's good.
And yeah, when you watch it, I mean, even apart from like the direction, going back to the acting, I mean, all the actors are great, but Song Kang-ho he's a household name in America now too.
Yeah.
And like this is pretty early in his career as well, and you can tell just from this, like they were destined to be in these professions. It's a terrifying movie. Like I said at the beginning, it's not like genuinely a horror, but the subject matter is horrific.
Oh yeah.
So I felt like it fit the theme for the month. And yeah, I mean there's one thing that Tom kept saying, and I think that's the main takeaway for this, and you were saying it during the movie, is that there's so many layers.
Oh yeah.
There's the police procedural, there's the upper class, lower class division, which you see in Parasite as well. I mean these are themes that he touches on his whole career.
Here in America we've had our fair share of serial killers, and they've all been haunting, and they've shaped history. You know what I'm saying? So, when you view a film like this, where it takes such a prolific thing as, a murderous bastard of decades past and shaped things, to come in the country, well, it commands your attention. So for me, Memories of Murder, I feel like I'm gonna go 10 out of 10.
Dang. Wow.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it's hard to describe because it's like, you could like feel their emotions through it, and it was just like, there was a couple points where like I had to turn away because I was like, holy shit, like this is a heavy movie. And I think he made those feelings, like he portrayed those very well. It wasn't just like, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm watching a movie about this thing that happened. It was like you felt all of those emotions and everything as you were watching it. So this is very well done, and it's shocking that it was only his second film. But
Maestro.
I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
Ooh,
wow.
10. Rocket.
I gotta say, for something that I normally wouldn't gravitate towards whatsoever, like I would completely pass over something like this if I was just to read the description, like I'm not really interested in something like this, but having to, sit down and watch this here, it's like, all right, my boy's picked this out, he thinks this is something that's worth watching, it's like, okay, let me sit down and watch this, right? And man, to really, like, get like emotionally invested in this and something that I normally wouldn't watch, like I find myself like, wow, no, this is a heavy film. It's a visual treat. You know, everybody's bringing it. You know, all the actors are hitting the roles, and like, man, you're just rolling with all these stories and all the layers. Man, yeah, make me feel the way I did. Like, I don't know what I could knock it for either. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 10 out of 10.
This movie, like, you know, as these guys have all said, they hit it on the nail on the head. That it's all greatness. And then the one thing we didn't mention was the fact that, you know how you said the layers, right, Tom? Or no, who said that? The layers.
I feel like we've all mentioned
We've all said it.
All right, well, the fact that also too that they didn't like talk about was the fact that those urban legends or whatever. They actually incurred had one in this. Remember they talking about the person in the outhouse,
Right? Yeah, all the schoolgirls.
Yeah, like schoolgirls in the outhouse and this and that. And so it's like they added that layer to it. Like, oh, there's also like an old urban legend, myth.
So the horror was.
Yeah, so there was something there, and they all knew about it, but they didn't know what exactly. Right. So they, of course, rumors start, whatever else. But hey, first things fucking last. No. This was a good movie. I'd definitely watch again. I definitely recommend it. And like J-Rock said, it's definitely something I would want to see more of his own work. And you said this is crazy. It's only a second film. Wow.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
So I mean, yeah, this is definitely a surprise and very very much fun. And I would definitely watch again. And it's a 10 out of 10.
Like whoa! Are we about to?
Wow.
Are we about to all fuck the number 10? I think we are.
Yeah, like I said, the fear, just every emotion that you could feel with something like this. I mean, with people getting killed in such a small place. I mean, the rural and the urban aren't that far from each other in South Korea in the grand scheme of things. Like when we think of America, we're a lot more vast,
more open spaced,
so. and some of the things, like, it's easy to knock on the ineptitude of the police force and stuff, but like there's some things that weren't entirely in their control. Like you, as a detective in this situation, you can't necessarily help if your forensics isn't at the level that it needs to be to figure this
your environment.
Yeah, and so it goes back to the layers. You could literally pause each frame of this movie and like unpack 10 different things. I feel like, and yeah, it's just one of those things that hits you at your core. And it helps you to connect with people across the whole globe, and I feel like that's really all you could ever ask for from a movie. So, unsurprisingly, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. Which I don't know if this has ever happened.
No!
This has happened, but with only the three of us. I was thinking that before you said, I was like, we're all gonna get this 10
I
out
don't
of 10.
think we all have ever done unanimous.
This is certainly the biggest group of people.
This is the biggest group that go 10 out of 10 for sure.
Wow, okay, so
we're breaking some new
October
ground
Daze, here we are, October 2021, watching Memories of Murder. Excellent movie. Good.
Absolutely stellar.
God.
Like,
I mean, what can we say about this film that we haven't already said? It's stellar. If you've never seen it before, definitely check it out. It is perfect for the month of October because I feel like it's universal. This is one of those movies that can speak to all walks of life. It's about, the human element. It's about, life and death. It's about, crime and history. And it takes all of these elements, weaves them perfectly together, and you've got an excellent film that can just, bridge that gap. So, with all that being said, guys, I hope I've been informative. Until the next time,
tune in to Neon Motherfucking Trash!